So I couldn't get live on YouTube, folks, so I've reverted to Facebook. Look at this. Alberto just made this for the goddess,
I don't even know what it is.
Kelly Love. And you've been, well, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see Amber and Kelly have shared their goddess and God wisdom with you on that last upload that I did on YouTube.
Thank you.
Wow, man. And mate, I mean, how did that happen? They just came up to you and they just realized that you're a goddess and they said, right, we're going to put flowers in this girl's hair. Is that what happened? I don't get this. Why is he doing this?
I'm not sure.
It's obvious.
So obvious.
He literally just came up. He's like, I have
He
something
just-
for you. Wait.
My, perfect.
Your corona is being crowned.
Man, I mean, what's going on, really? I mean, that's it.
Yes.
Wow, that looks glorious.
So this is gonna fall off my.
No, it's perfect. You can't see how perfect it is. I mean,
It's so
it is
great.
so cool. Maybe this,
Take a selfie.
hang on. Maybe this one here can go a little bit more like that. There you go. Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, now it's perfect. Wow.
Your crown is open.
I don't understand. We were just eating, and Alberto and her.
The secret.
She
meaning of
also
coronavirus?
put the flowers in.
Oh, it's the two serpents.
I've forgotten what it is.
So corona means crown. Virus is the venom of a serpent. So if you see the caduceus, where those two serpents meet and secrete the venom of the higher glands of the melatonin, dopamine, and serotonin, then your crown opens. And that's the coronavirus. Inside, as within. It's actually the best thing. Which is why it's the polar opposite mirror of the worst thing, which is restricting your spirituality, because spirit comes from spiritus, which means breath. It's impossible, well, unless you got that cutaneous breath like we talked about earlier, difficult to breathe without, with the mask on, right? Yeah, for sure, it's real.
And what we were saying before about Revelation being unmasking, and yet we're
Apocalypse, etymologically means to unveil or unmask. And so how appropriate for this Piscean dance of balance and yin yang for people to be masking themselves and literally impeding their spirituality and their relationship with breath during the time of ultimate apocalypse and unmasking this reality, unveiling.
Masking during an unmasking.
Yeah.
masking versus unmasking. So
Masking is during an unmasking.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, and mask is an anagram for scam.
Oh,
So if it's an anagram for scam, a lot of people are actually calling this a scamdemic or plandemic. So as you can see, all these guys have to wear masks because the cops are going patrolling up and down the street. You will have seen it on many of my lives here in Puerto, Morelos. The cops are going up and down the street, yeah, and enforcing. Yep, here we go. There they are. Now this is going on. Every 3 minutes there'll be a cop car cruising down. They're not troubling anybody, but it's all about coronavirus inquisition. Basically how it works is the pressure is on the people who pay a lot of rent here and are trying to survive and be the enforcers of this mask scam. So what happens is it makes their job easier because now you've got enforcers everywhere like the proper inquisition should be working. and it's causing a lot of pressure on them. You know, I walked out of a store yesterday because the lady insisted I had a mask. And initially I was just joking and said, look, I haven't got one. And she said, well, I'll get you one. And I said, look, don't worry about it. And I walked right out because I thought, I don't want to play these games, and maybe I should have spoken to her and told her why I was walking out, you know, because I don't want to, like, support, you know, these people. I try in every way to, avoid their little tricks. So, obviously it's hard in some places like big shops around here and dentists or whatever. But that's the apocalypse should be the awakening, man. But there are people awakening, so.
Absolutely. I think there's a reason that two fish are swimming away from each other. I think some people want to stay in Pisces, and one of those fish is ready to leave Pisces. And if you look at, it would be to the right if you look up, and it would be Aquarius left foot if you're Aquarius looking down. One of the fish is under the foot of Aquarius. I think that's the fish that wanted to filter the knowledge within belief. Because first there's thought, that becomes a belief system, that becomes what we know, that becomes wisdom, and that particular wisdom that suits your zodiacal predisposition becomes your body. So the thoughts, the belief of Pisces, one of those fish took the knowledge and is going into Aquarius. Some people want to stay in belief.
Yeah.
Some people are so frightened, are so sick because they're literally slowly suffocating themselves by inhibiting their ability to breathe, that you can't even think as clearly, objectively, no judgment here. Objectively, if your blood is less rich in oxygen, you know, I really ask my taxi drivers to take off a mask when they're driving, because I'm like, it's not safe. If you're driving with less oxygen in your head, you're going to get in an accident at a higher statistical rate. So it is actually, it's an act of violence.
Yeah, it is too.
It's an act of violence. And it needs to be taken that seriously.
Yep.
It's our spirit. It is our relationship.
I just think that was like the perfect time for that line to come out. Let's shake it up now.
Shake it up now.
Boogie, woogie.
Yeah.
He knows how to dance.
Oh, yeah.
You got some salsa? Put some salsa on. Bring out las salseras. So.
Yeah.
What was I saying before? I was going to say something more. I was going to add something to that. Dang.
Do you know about Dao Lore's channel? Speaking of the Tao Te Ching. Dao Lore? Tao space Lore. He's a great resource for breath work and a very nuanced critical analysis of diet and the effect on the human body and the dangers of being too alkaline. Because a lot of us go from moving away from acidity, you can have alkalosis just like acidosis. And Dao Lore has an incredible 4-part series that Martin Kenny of Pineal Foundation just met up. It is so exquisitely speaking to all the subtleties and how we are shifting towards our natural state, which is breathing and learning this process of photosynthesis and honoring our relationship with our family tree is actually becoming the masters of breath as a way to take the yod he vav he, which is the fire is nitrogen, the air is oxygen, the hydrogen is the water, and then the earth is the carbon. All those things are in each breath that you take, trace amounts. If you look at anything that you eat, it's a combination of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, 4 elements, the tetragrammaton. And that fifth of the aleph is the phosphorus of the ether. So if you want to take a look at the 5 elemental system, it also is based on that. But this is how sacred and powerful the breath is, and why it is on the chopping block, so to speak, at this moment in time. Because to tell someone you can't breathe is an ultimate assault, not only on them, but their connection to all of creation. And so what I see as learning is, as Galileo eloquently talks about, is bringing the body to such a level of balance and purity that we can reactivate our lungs and our intestines as something that can actually metabolize breath. And as that process is combined with raising the chrism oil, and the chrism is this bread, this manna from heaven that is also fueling the body, that the body is eating, and the blood is purified, just like Santos talks about, and Charlie Freak talks about in so many amazing videos about internalizing this archetype of Christ. You know, for the most part, people in the United States, they grew up worshiping someone who's going to essentially perform a spiritual jubilee on karma. And we're kind of seeing an echo shade of that with people talking about like a financial reset and a debt jubilee. And you know, the churches are all about the debt and the money, so it kind of goes into the spirituality. But what I see the ultimate return is, and maybe this is why in a lot of the Tartarian research, there's no bathrooms in some of these buildings. Why are there no bathrooms? Because there's no gross input to the system. There is no middleman between you and the spirit. There's no one interpreting it except your organs, which tone the song you are, that could never be bound by a name. We are each symphonies, we are songs. We're, like Santos always says, we're sonoluminescent. That song is what creates the aura. This dance between light and sound, like in the Tetragrammaton, this marriage of the masculine and feminine.
Tonal y Nahual.
What is that?
Oh, here in Mexico, that's in the Anahualc language.
Oh, yes.
Tonal is white light, and the black of the yin and yang is Nahual, which gives you Naga, which gives you Niga, Negro, Naga, the black, the science of the black, which means the science of dielectricity, whereas white is magnetism.
Have you heard of the work of Sergio Magaña? So this is perfect. We're in Mexico. What does Mexico mean? Mexico means navel of the moon. Because the Toltec dreaming tradition traditionally had a black obsidian mirror. It's interesting because obsidian absorbs light, whereas the silver, tin, mercury amalgam mirror we're used to reflects light. So they would sit with the mirror at their navel, gazing down, and then projecting with their imagination a transmortifying of their facial into the form of whatever animal could embody the archetype that would be useful for them to confront an aspect of self in the dream land or in the astral realm.
Gotcha.
Whatever you want to call it. And so Mexico is actually a reference to the Toltec dreaming tradition. And getting back to that Nahual and
Tonal.
Tonal.
Ton, all is a ton.
Yes.
Which is white light, magnetism.
Yes.
All is a ton.
Yes. Yes. Sergio Magaña's work is amazing.
That's why the goddess here is Tonantzin, and the god is Tonatiuh. It's the son, Christ Jesus, because his twin, one of his disciples, Thomas the twin, is actually Jesus and Thomas. In fact, the Book of Hermes calls the sun Thomas. You know, that dude up in the sky every day that brings us the light of the world, our risen Savior that walks on water.
Yeah.
The sun is when they came to Guadalupe, they just said, well, that's the Virgin Mary. That's Tonantzin. That's not the Virgin Mary, but it is, because it's magnetism. the pure energy. It radiates and never diminishes.
And the cerebrospinal fluid starts as Mary. It's the sea of bitterness. That's what Mary means, the sea of bitterness. I've heard that when the CSF is first...
Yeah, maro, amargo. Mars is bitter in astrology. So the sea of bitterness. What was it called? Say it again.
Sea of bitterness.
No, the name you gave it.
Oh, the cerebrospinal fluid.
No, didn't you have a word with Mars in it just then?
Yeah.
What did you say with Mar in it?
I heard it.
Sorry. Okay, anyway, here, amaro in Italian is bitter, amargo in Spanish is bitter. It's got Mars in it. He's the ruler of bitter, whereas Saturn is the ruler of, there's 7 different tastes. Yeah, you've got bitter, sweet, Venus, acrid,
Oh, was it the word Mexico?
salt. Huh?
Was it the word Mexico or is it some
Yes.
other word?
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go back, go on.
Oh yeah. I think our dream time is that important. You know, we kind of think of like preparing for dream is like, you know, making sure your phone is on airplane mode and next to your pillow. It's like that's the ritual that people are in right now. But to reclaim that, oh no, you know, make sure you don't eat or drink in a way that's going to interrupt you during peak REM. Maybe imbibe in some certain smells of essences that relate to a chakra that you'd like to interact with in the dream. I really feel that there's a way that we can really put, especially like we really have to start with the children, right? Like putting our children to sleep as a ritual. Because that's one thing that I think we can all agree on is we need to reclaim ritual. Because if you don't have ritual in your life, it's going to be someone else's. The mask is a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
You know, eating meat is a ritual. Everything is a ritual. You know, the way we look at our phones more than the actual reality is a ritual. It's like writ you all. It's like writing what you are is those repetitious actions. And to reclaim the dream time as this singularity that is beyond time space is, I think, really key to exciting the children to not be tempted by the false dream. Because what's more exciting, the fact that you project your own, you know, completely believable imaginary realm effortlessly every night, or watching a movie? To me, there's no context.
Nope.
No contest. The body is the highest technology.
Mm-hmm.
And to get excited about the dream time and realize all this technology is spiritual plagiarism. You know, the screen is your eyes, the microphone is your ear, the speakers is your mouth. It's all just it's called a motherboard for a reason. The motherboard is the magnetic grid of the earth. The ley lines is the motherboard. So technology is only copying in a synthetic.
There is nothing new under
way.
the sun.
Exactly.
There is nothing new under the sun.
Exactly.
Tonantio, all is a ton. Or Thomas, if you read the Book of Enoch. Sorry, I disrupted.
Not at all. Always adding. Always synergizing.
Uh-huh.
Love Enoch.
Let's see those flowers. Yeah, you lost one. Oh no, it's just that one's fallen. One's fallen. Yeah, it's cool.
So what does
Still
it
look
mean,
good.
Goddess? You know, can you extrapolate into like the hair and what that means? If like one is more to the right, is that symbolic of like a weightiness of dreaminess in you?
Well, if it's, I mean, I can talk about head tilt.
Ooh,
What
talk about head
means.
tilt.
Yeah, so if you lean your head more to the side, it shows you're like listening to your emotions. If you're turning though, it's like you're turning away from your thoughts. So your right is masculine, okay? Right is masculine, left is feminine. So if you tend to talk like this to people, it's like you're listening to your emotions. You're feeling them. You talk to somebody like this, you're analyzing, you're thinking, you're in your head. How are you gonna respond? And if your normal gaze is like this, so it's not like this, but it's more of like a turning. This is like, it's almost like a turning away from the thoughts
Turning, sorry, say again, sorry.
So if I'm like turning my head one way,
Yep.
like my natural gaze is just kind of like this. It's like a turning from my emotions. So if it's from the left,
Okay.
it's like a turning from it.
Mm-hmm.
From the right, it's like a turning from it.
From what you're thinking
Like the thoughts.
on the left.
Like if I go like this, because you think you're turning away from a side. So
Right.
it's like I'm listening to my emotions, I'm turning away from that. I'm listening to my thoughts, kind of ignoring how I feel.
Amazing. What about when you're thinking and you look down?
See, when I just looked up right then, that was me analyzing. So
Yeah.
thinking is, analyzing is looking up. Down is kind of like feeling, emotions, could be to the past as well.
Wow. Okay, what about...
What about when people have like a predisposition to raise one eyebrow over the other?
Hey, hang on. Just stop there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I want to... Let's go. Oh, and Alfredo is about to sing. Hola, Alfredo. Saluda a mi gente. Mm-hmm. So, what was the question then?
Well, if you have one eyebrow that comes down more than the other, this would, like if it's the right side, it's speaking to being weighed down by your thoughts. You think of like weight coming down. And right, again, is like the analytical masculine, action-oriented. Left is feminine, receptive, emotional, meaning, connection. And so if it's the right eyebrow that's coming down, then it's like, it shows a disposition of being weighed down by your thoughts. So I think my right eyebrow comes down, right? More than my left?
No.
Oh, does my
No,
left?
your left does. Your left does.
That's shifted.
Well, what does that
It used to be
mean?
my right.
Oh, okay, so what does that
It
mean?
means I'm more in my emotional body, so good job me.
Well, moon's in Cancer.
In my emotional
The moon's in Cancer.
My right eyebrow used to actually come down when I was more in my head space, mental, weighed down by my thoughts. Now it's like more of this emotional.
Right.
Which is actually quite true for me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go.
¿Qué más?
¿Qué más? Well, what about we say a little bit for our Spanish listeners? You want to speak a little bit of Spanish? ¿Te gustaría? ¿No? ¿Tú hablas bien? ¿Cómo no?
Not on live television or live Facebook. My Spanish is not that good.
Oh, it is very good. And you, all right? What about let's have a little conversation in Spanish with the Spanish listeners. Vamos a di algo de Puerto. ¿Cómo te gusta?
La gente son muy amables. Brazos como 20 segundos.
¿En serio?
¿En serio?
¿Los
Y
mexicanos?
no es normal por yo también, pero me gusta. Porque inmediatamente
Oh,
siento
le
como un
gusta.
hermano.
Oh, okay.
De sentir el corazón directo. Y es muy importante para dar un abrazo como eso, con la izquierda arriba. Así que los corazones
Ajá.
son en la misma línea.
Oh, okay.
Cuando lo veas, lo más porcentaje de abrazos son con el derecho.
Ajá.
Por eso los corazones son aparte.
Wow.
Pero esta Navidad, dar un abrazo de corazón, en inglés heart hug, a tu familia, give your family a heart hug. Make sure the hearts are connected. Raise that left and balance between the left and right. I taught my family and they love it. Mi familia te gusta.
I'm doing it too. I learned. I'm doing it too. I've learnt this recently too as well. Yeah. Yep. I think so. And geez, it'd be great to see more kissing. You know, like a kiss on the cheek. You know, it's so.
Love that.
It is so nice. You know, really. It's the most complimentary thing to, you know, touch someone in such a way.
I like it too, but what I've read from you about saliva and parasites, it kind of freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's so much work that one can do in protecting their microbiome and, you know, the DNA that's in their body, that anytime anyone gives me a kiss for the most part, I can't wait to just like rub it off. It feels for me a little bit too much. I'll give you a heart hug for a minute and love every moment of it, but your saliva, like someone's saliva that maybe you just met, I'm a no-go. Not a
Yep.
fan.
I'm gonna
No disrespect to people
I'm
who
gonna
like that.
question
Question.
because babies are the filthiest creatures on this planet.
Mm.
They crawl everywhere and put everything in their mouth, and everybody's kissing them and touching them, and they're alive.
There they go again. Oinkity
I
oink.
think it's part of like, I mean, if we're all mixing and whatever, this is what I think. I think STIs and all these germs and stuff like that, those are lies. The only reason any toxicity or whatever has, in my personal belief, has a chance to manifest itself is because something toxic inside of me allowed for that manifestation. We see that with our thoughts, right? We focus on negative things happen in our life. So I feel like the same happens inside of us.
I think that children act in a way that they are given permission to. There's indeed a tendency for the chaotic embrace. However, I think, you know, children are very much attacked. We know this before even conception, that we are under an assault in this reality. And I give no power to that and see that we are transitioning out of that, if not already. That being said, I don't think we've really seen
Santos,
the
¿te
true
retiro?
potential of the
Sí,
child
gracias.
yet, because that is a force so powerful
¿Te
and
ofrezco
pure
algo más?
the
No,
paradigm
no.
we're in would not even be able to process or handle it at all. I think that children are the greatest creative act, and in their most pristine
Yes.
and authentic embodiment, their energy would just be an instant end to the system that we're in right now.
And this is what I was saying, is because they are so pure and innocent, this is why they can take in the world and not really care about germs, not to be too concerned, because they're pure. There's nothing inside of them that's giving space for disease to manifest. So if we're cleaning our energy and we're cleaning our bodies, we can kiss everybody and be fine. And I also think about this. People, whether or not Jesus was, I'm not even sure anymore if he was. You know, there's stories of him touching lepers and hanging out with everyone, and I feel
Tengo la
like
promoción de la pasta junto con la
if
pizza.
he had, I feel and think as I look
La
at
pizza es como para tres.
that if he had the ability to be in touch with everybody and not have to sequester himself and not be afraid if I touch a leper I'm going to get leprosy, then if we're clean, we can move through this world with the same confidence.
But I'd also say there's a huge distinction between touching and saliva exchange. Because what I'm hearing about the children is like cooking and like slobber and like being very interactive with the DNA that's coming from their body.
Alberto.
When you look at entrainment of DNA and how long DNA can stay in the system, you may not see the effect in the moment when a child is licking the floor that a dog is licking. But you best believe that in the next 7 years, the dog's DNA could have an effect on their diet, on their way of eating, on their way, could be a very minute effect on their expression. But I think that there are long-term sensitivities when it comes to DNA entrainment that are really hard to like pinpoint. But Santos's lectures with Soli, his podcast, really been talking about how long you're connected to a partner, even just from saliva. I think it really deserves a reconsideration of how we protect our children. And I would say there's absolutely a balance between like, you know, letting them get dirty in the earth and have like that experience with like the bacteria in the soil. But when it comes to like kissing on the cheek or like saliva exchange, that you're talking about of like touching and healing, there is also a boundary. You know, there's no saliva exchanger. It's a tactile
Jesus
touch.
spit in dirt, made mud, and put it on eyes.
That's a new one on me.
I think everything is sacred, and we have defiled it with our thoughts and our feelings and the pain and the lenses that we see through. And I feel like if we actually take the time to purify ourselves, there is no impurity and connection. Like the ultimate purity, the ultimate meaning of being human, in my personal opinion, is love and connection.
Yes.
And so I think the greatest lie is that we are dirty and we can hurt each other, we can kill each other. But the reality is we're not dirty. We just created an environment that allows for things to manifest. So if we clean that up, we're actually all safe with each other. It's the environment. It even goes into this whole fear thing that's going on with the virus, like fearing a virus, germ theory versus terrain theory, understanding like it's the environment that the virus isn't bad. It's the environment that the virus is in that causes the virus to manifest. So I feel the same. If you're afraid of saliva, or if you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that, then what is it about that makes us scared? Because everything is pure and everything is love. So what is out of alignment, and how do we bring that back into alignment to bring the sacredness to everything?
I guess I would say that in a perfect golden age, a lot of those things would be true. But in an age when you're dealing with vaccine damage, when you're dealing with gut linings being punctured, leaky gut, there need to be extra precautions taken, because in my experience, the world is not all love and purity. There's a duality that goes on here. And what I think about love is what a lot of native tribes said, is that the heart chakra is actually where all the other archetypes nest. It's called the 7-layer liquid crystal sphere. All the Taurus fields go into one another. This game is not about ascending out the crown. It's about nesting the 3 lower magnetic and the 3 higher magnetic and the 3 lower electric into the magnetism of the heart, so that the root of protection, the navel of creativity, the solar plexus of empowerment, can merge in the love, as well as the throat's honesty, the third eye's awareness, and the crown's selflessness can all go inside, but you have to have the protection. A protection is part of this process. I would also say not everything is sacred. To me, I draw a distinction between the sacred and the Christic. The sacred is downward causation to the sacrum. The Christic is upward right ascension of meridian, really, ultimately, towards the magnetism of the higher 2 chakras, in which this process of crystallization begins to infuse the bones and the entire being as an upgraded hardware, essentially, crystalware. Because the brain is the original computer, and the phones and technology we're using right now, they are dependent on crystals. Even if you look at the pyramids of Egypt, of Giza, outside are these giant crystal vats of quartz crystal, because they would use the piezoelectric differentiation of the ebb and flow of tides to help generate energy. So from what I'm hearing you say, it feels like, yes, in the golden age, when this perfect vessel has been fortified to its natural brilliance, that it is super resistant, and love can truly be this singular compass of guidance. However, I think as we are transitioning into, from where we are, let's say, to stay in the moment, it's important to see that there's damage control, that the vessel does have leaks that can be curtailed and supported by extra precautions that are certainly not really in alignment with like the divine child to just be, you know, on the tarot card, just like naked on a horse, just taking in the sun, you know, it's all good. I think that's super important to always protect but that just as the divine feminine has been super abused in this reality, equally so has the divine masculine, which is the protection. And I feel like it's super important, especially, I think about this a lot, because children are coming that I know now, and it puts me in the position of how would I want to protect a child and what would be good enough for that child. And so I'm super passionate about this subject because I know those are teachers coming in. And as we can mitigate any damage that is done to what is already perfect, we can reclaim that as a mirror and step out of the hierarchical relationship and enter into the holarchical relationship of this holographic fractal uniqueness, where as your unique expression is mined and expressed, that supports me as well. And in that regard, surrounding ourselves with authenticity only adds to our brilliance. There's no scarcity of am I above or below you, am I doing the right thing? No, it's I'm in and expressing from my heart that is nested with these 7 archetypes to truly be in balance. Because balance doesn't choose a side. If you're all love, if you look at the etymology of love, it comes from a word that means desire. And we know that Buddha said desire is the root of all suffering. Of course, there are different kinds of love.
I don't agree with that. I mean, I agree that with whatever you said. I don't agree with that definition of creative love, though.
Yeah.
And I want you to, you may complete your story.
No.
Say, like, the definition
We
of
need to
love
be
is
interjecting
great.
like this,
Yeah.
because otherwise each of us could easily speak for an hour. And so I value your interjection.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we think differently,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
and I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
I don't even think we need to prove that.
Yeah.
it all contributes to our expanding our consciousness. Rest assured, the expansion of your consciousness. That's where the kno from the ankh to know. That's why they put the silent K, because it's the ankh, and that's why you hold that. It's knowledge. Knowledge is the key. It looks like a key. Ankh is an anagram for knowledge. So consciousness is also rooted in that kon. It's Cohen in Hebrew is the priest.
Yeah.
Collins in English is surname. The Jews, it's a very common name to have Cohen. That's the priest, the con artist. The priest was conning you, but with knowledge,
Oh, really?
knowledge. Well, that's a derivative of Cohen, yes, and that's why you have the Vatican, because it's also can. Vatican means the divining prophet serpent, so it's about not having the knowledge, cannot the ankh. So, and it's the key. It's the 11th Sephiroth, which is here. It's the 11th. It's the doorway. It's called Da'at, and it's the doorway, and that is knowledge, which leads to feminine understanding and masculine knowledge. What's Benar? Oh man, Chokmah. I think it's understanding, wisdom, and then. What's the crown chakra? Oh man, I'm embarrassed. Anyway, so yeah, that's a kn, the ankh.
And you know what? So I'm gonna show you tonight a preview of a piece I'm working on called Internalizing the Alchemy of Money. I also think that bank is where Ankh comes from. And Ankh is, of course, the ascension of magnetic energy to the Mon eye, or the one eye, which is the money. That money secretes the melatonin, which is a golden substance, and it secretes it down your back into the current of the sea of fluids that this body bag is containing. So it's literally gold-backed currency. The melatonin going down the spine is enhanced. Yeah. And so what the thesis of internalizing the alchemy of money is that banking is black magic vamping of our energy, whereas onking is white magic amping of our energy. And as we can reclaim the mirrors within banking of the symbols and systems to their original point, this is the why that can bear any how, like Nietzsche said. He who has the why can bear any how to overcome that. And when we can see that our loved ones and ourselves have been distracted chasing these Babylonian magic rectangles instead of loving one another and being present, I'm just so excited for that. And I know that the beauty in the heart of the 60s was the anti-war, and that was so threatening. They created so many distractions to tear that spirit away. But that all wars are bankers' wars. And Pluto, with a naked eye, in sidereal astrology, is moving into Capricorn in 2025. So there's about like 4 years to restructure our relationship with money, as Pluto is in Sagittarius sidereally. I'm only speaking of the sidereal, not the tropical. Santos is the man for that. And Sagittarius is the philosophy, so it's our relationship with the thought form around money. Santos and I were talking about how the sidereal could be the more mental body and the tropical could be the more physical body. So, you know, money has really already changed. So in a sense, if Pluto has already been in Capricorn, or it currently is, you know, perhaps that's why these coins and Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are coming out too. But all that to say is that once we see how our energy has been externalized, we can use that gnosis to make any enemy a powerful teacher that we respect and honor without the polarization of being angry. Because we can see that they are holding the mirror, waiting for us to reclaim, oh yeah, that bonk is my ankh. And this, even to the most horrific degree, you know, people who are obsessed right now doing their shadow work, because that's what's happening with a lot of people being sequestered. If you're really into this adrenochrome stuff, the most powerful mirror that I've ever held is Saturn eats his children, right? And so that's being talked about in some of these grotesque things that people are researching. But when we are doing that within, when the essence of our children, which is our sexual energy, is actually rising up the spine to our crown chakra, entering into the fornix, which is the furnace, where the essence is crucified, meaning magnified 1,000-fold, as Santos talks about the Christ being reborn. That's children being sacrificed to the hot hands of Baal. Inside, though, that's your children, your kids. What is a kid? A kid is a baby goat. It's going to the ram of the crown. That is the internal. So you can say, oh, it's bad to call kids kids because it's making them into animals or insinuating an association. It is also very sacred when that is internalized. So we can reclaim all of this black magic as a perfect, necessary mirror for us to learn from. And once that wisdom is embodied and integrated, then the anger can dissipate, because there's naturally going to be anger and a lot of issues in the liver that come up when doing this shadow work. But to balance that out and to reclaim that the darkest thing you could possibly think about reading online could be a reflection of the within process of the most beautiful ascension necessary to stop disempowering our projection. Because in the holarchical perspective, we are creating that. Because if you're ejaculating into a rag or a condom and putting it in the toilet, and then you're going online and getting angry about the Jews who say they are Jews but are not Jews, or reading a book that says Christ is burning forever in excrement, when your own Christ essence of the chrism is now being, you know, heated, where the sewage is recycled by the fire, we can reclaim that as a projection. You're no longer a victim. It's no longer happening to you. It's happening for you. The mirror had to get so hideous. You had to say, wait a minute. I can't stand for this. I can't live with this level of gravity. Then when that is breathed up and inward and reclaimed as a co-creative process, it all becomes beautiful and necessary and sacred and Christic, in that balance between the two. So I say that because, like Kelly and I were talking about, we feel very honored to be with Santos right now. And I can only think that it's because in a time outside of this forced shadow work that a lot of people are going through, we have a support or impetus from the universe or predisposition from our stars to do the shadow work, to be able to not be as affected and to be able to hold more light in darkness. But for those who are getting lost in the shadow work and just feel hopeless, I honor the trauma as a mirror waiting to be reclaimed and owned. You are not a victim. Do not let people put you in a victim mentality. That is not a power position. You are not a victim. The solution always exists before the problem. Just as sure as the sun always exists before the shadow. And shout out to Sevan Bomar of Inner Standing for teaching that wisdom and sharing that.
Yep.
It's so important to reclaim that we are powerful, righteous, beautiful, childlike, immortal essences. And you're speaking to that, and I honor that. And I know in the golden age we'll be partying just like that, with no fear, in perfect protection. And that's where we are bound. And if you need a little bit more time in Pisces, no judgment. I personally see this polarization as inevitable. So we also need to honor people who want to believe. If they want to be the lie, that is a necessary process. I know I was in belief a lot. I've done terrible things that I'm ashamed of. You know, it's a miracle that I'm alive. I'm sure a lot of people watching this and listening to Santos feel the same way. So I just say that to honor the shadow is the greatest teacher. It's integrating the whole. There is no duality like we're talking about. When you collapse that victim-victor duality and just return to your infinite being beyond word, that's, like Santos said, bliss is the original, that's the true religion, is bliss.
You know what? I just got a big syncretism then when you said victor, victim. Tor is from the Taurus field. That's why many of our words end in Tor. Actor, creator, help me out. Instructor, mentor. Yeah, okay. Right. So, and then many words end in bull, which is the hyperbola of the inside part of every donut Taurus field. And that gives you words ending in bull. Capable, reliable, responsible. Hence, we see this electromagnetic language, all is atum. Atum is etum, etymology, which in Greek, etymos means truth, truth in words. So, yeah. So, where was I going? Yeah, victor means the Taurus field is strong, right? Victim, M is sinking in the waters. You see, this is like Ra becomes Ran. Well, Ra is the sun god, but Ran is the physical effect of the sun's magnetic pulse. So the M is always bringing into the earth, hence victor up, victim down. That's the syncretism I had anyway. I just,
So beautiful.
Yep, you inspired it.
Yeah. One of the most interesting things I found out recently is Venice is actually a boat on the water.
Yes, it is. It
If you
is.
look in the overhead of Venice, there's a part that comes to like a bow shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bookstore there called Pinalt, which is like the ultimate pineal.
Uh-huh.
And if I had to guess, that's where they're storing the birth certificates of the entire world. Or where they were stored, you know, depending on what you think is going on in reality.
They are. They are physically stored on the island of Venice.
Yes, And it's just funny because you know the Vatican has a huge pineal statue, and then Venus has
Penult.
Pinel at the bow of the ship, and this is like, you know, the head of the ship. It's all this rich symbolism.
Penultimo in Spanish is the second last.
Ah.
Ultimo is the last. Penultimo. Penult.
Yeah. Is the pineal the anjo, and then the
Yes.
you carry the crown?
Yeah, therefore it's the second last.
It is the penultimo.
Penultimo. Oh, gee, dude. Oh. That's a good possibility. That's plausible. That's very, very, very plausible. Yep. Yeah, me too. I've been yawning all night. So we're finished here, guys, I guess. There's the music. And I'm waiting for Malika to come. Actually, you know what? I'm wait here. I'm gonna wait for Malika. She'll be staying with us.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know how.
We'll work it out. Oh, I want to say one other thing. So huge shout out to Josh X.
Oh, I love Josh.
I love you, Josh. Love you.
Yeah.
You're beautiful partner. Your syncretisms together just gives me the richest projections of what it would be like to synergize with another whole.
Yeah.
This rediscovery of uncovering truth with our own authority. You know, seeing truth as the authority instead of authority as the truth.
Yeah, right.
And oh man, his richness of and simplicity of talking about the straw man. Because you'll see, you know, in my page, you know, I'm called Ember, but my spiritual name is Amber, and I'm intentionally ambiguous to be like, what is that going on? Is because we need to reclaim names that are not crown copyright. It's very important to step out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to be called Amber. That's the name that Ometepe really held as a mirror for me. But you'll see me online as Ember, and people will call me Ember, whatever. Anyways, Josh X talks about how all you need to be tied into the system is an address and a persona. What do you see in Venice? You see masks. They are known for their masks.
Mm-hmm.
The mask is the old word for persona in Greco-Roman theater.
Yes, it is. It's true.
Hair is the hole that the sona would come through, the sonar, the sound. So the
Mascara.
persona is the mascara. It's back to the mask.
Mm.
And back to the unveiling.
Mm-hmm.
The apocalypse. And what else do they have? If you see these performers in Venice, they have a mask and then they have a dress. An ad dress. So they're showing you in plain sight, again, just waiting for that mirror to be reclaimed. The dress, this added dress, and the persona looking at you. Oh, that's so beautiful. This is Venice. Oh, that's a terrible beauty.
Yeah.
It's a brutal beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's raw, and it's waiting for you to see the greatest gift that you are not the name. You have no address. You are not a citizen of whatever country. You are a cosmic divine child who is a song in a continual process of becoming that can never be fixed with a sword to cut the ether in any shape of the word. Formless, timeless.
Actually, the Greek word for mask is hypocrita, which is, which gives us hypocrisy. Yeah, something like that. Hypocrite. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think a lot about this, you know, return to the land, permaculture operations. A huge part of that needs to be a ceremonial embodiment of reclaiming our essence outside the persona, outside the address. You are a phenomenon that came from everywhere all at once, and you are connected to everything all at once.
Beautiful.
So to fix your location, to fix your name, is to impose a limitation on your infinite essence. And that's always going to be manifested as a kind of violence and restriction on your being. So I would encourage everyone, as Jupiter and Saturn are going to conjunct. This is a rich time for ceremony. And I invite others to, whatever you want to do. Personally, I see this as a great time to inherit our crown and our awareness that we are cosmically sovereign, limitless beings. And part of that is to burn the straw man. That's why I chose ember, because an ember always consumes itself. And what will be left over is the amber. On the bottom of the tree of life is the ember that fuels this process of the crystallization of the amber that represents the crystallization of our body. So we can stop waiting for someone to clear our debt and realize that we do that for ourselves. And this process of the chrism and cleaning the blood is purifying the body whose cells hold the debt. And as we clear those cells open, and the prism of the prison of colors collapses into the heart chakra, and that is the key to the singularity that has always been waiting in that raw relationship with breath.
Woo! Malika! Oh, my little goddess. Look at you.
Are you on a live?
Yeah. Say hello to everyone. Everyone knows you. You've been on 100 lives. Yeah, it's great to see you. Look at your luggage.
Yeah, it's stuff I'm taking to the
Oh,
States.
well, right. You're going to the States. Oh, my. Wow. Hey, please meet Kelly.
Nice to meet you. Sorry.
And my beautiful friend Amber.
Mind if I put my bag right here?
Yeah, just plonk it there. You're good. I'm glad I waited.
Oh, it's one of my favorite smells right now.
Jasmine. Malika means jasmine.
It's a
Wow.
very purifying essence and protecting. Looking up the symbolism of the jasmine flower. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, pleasure.
Take a seat. We'll get you a drink and stuff.
Okay, you don't look skinny. I was worried that you weren't eating enough food.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you. So did I put weight on since you last saw me?
Yeah.
No. Really, yes.
Yeah, you look healthy. And those are so
Probably the combo. Because
Oh.
that is kidney health. If you have bags under the eyes, that's kidney health. And so probably clearing a lot of those heavy metals in the combo
Right.
is taking a lot of kidneys in the process. Which
Right.
will relieve the bags.
Okay.
Talking about like the phase that keeps coming up.
Wow.
Breathing the body.
Yeah.
You got bags under the eyes. That's why people who drink coffee, they're caricaturized in the cartoons as having black eyelids,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's because the adrenals sit on top of the renals. The renal's the kidney. When you're, forcing those adrenals to secrete the adrenaline, just punching them with that coffee, coughing up a feed, you're gonna have those bags in the eyes. Because it's an unnatural amount of vitality to be squeezing out of your precious adrenal glands, and that's harder on the kidneys.
Yep. Coffees are good for enemas. I've done millions of them. Yeah. Coffee is good for that, for sure, in that way. Malika's ordering her food. There she is. She's the little Saraswati, Lakshmi, Parvati, Radharani, Kali, all in. She's a very, 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 very advanced soul. Yeah, I've filmed some of her musical rituals and singing in Sanskrit and all of. She does all these rituals.
Oh, she dances too.
It's amazing. She does everything. She's only 27, right?
That's right.
And
Amazing.
like my daughter, my son's 28, right? She's only 27, and she's like about 95. Yeah, and I mean it. She's been my real pillar and support in Masunte. We think very, very similarly. So,
What are her signs?
she's been my best support. Taurus. She's Taurian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, another
Taurus.
Venus. And she speaks Spanish perfectly. Perfectly.
What are you doing?
Impeccably. Impeccably.
Ahí estaba en Oaxaca con nosotros.
Ah, sí. Ay, Santos, ¿es de Oaxaca?
Sí, 9 meses.
Posturan
Sí, lo vi, sí. Los zapotecas. Sí, sí. Ya.
Y eso que te va a tener Chiapas, ¿no?
Sí, fui a San Cris, fui. Palenque. Sí, y la próxima semana llevo dos a Chichén Itzá. Estos dos amigos. Ya.
Cuando gustes son bienvenidos.
¿Cómo no? So, before you go, what was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're going to Tulum. That's great. Tomorrow though, my credit cards are coming by DHS, and they're going to be calling me. I'm going to have to find someone to be around to tell them meet me in Chedraui, and I'll pick up the cards. So, is there any reason why tomorrow and can it? We shifted another day if I have to be here, if I can't find someone? Or is tomorrow the only...
I have to go tomorrow. Like,
Tomorrow.
I booked a place.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and I need to make a couple days.
All right. Let's go tomorrow. Good.
What time is DHL coming?
Don't know. They'll be ringing me, and I'll be then ringing the person that I find. I think I know who I can find. I'll be ringing them to tell them to call them on that number and tell them that to meet them in Chendrawi at the right time. She'll be there. So I'm not filming you directly because I and you, we're both yawning. It's very late here, guys, so we're very tired, and we've already done one live today. We did a beautiful live today. I had Kelly, I had my beautiful Amber friend, whom I call Gandalf, and we did a live today. So we've had a long, I'm yawning a lot. I know.
Oh my gosh, I had so much energy, and then, like yesterday, I finally collapsed at like 5 p.m.
You heard Pasha is back in town. My neighbor saw him.
Okay.
Alerted the police.
Right. I thought he was in St. Chris. That's what he's...
Yeah, I told you about that girl coming in and like
Mhm.
throwing a bunch of trash in my car.
Mm-hmm.
She just left it in her coward massage.
You don't know who it is?
I just know her name is Steph.
Right.
I've never seen her out. I don't know if they're on something. I feel
Uh-huh.
like they're taking like some kind of
Señorita. Ya, porque está bien.
Oh, I think I'm going to have one of those. Whatever it is. So tomorrow, Kelly and Amber and I, we're going down to Tulum, folks. Anyone out there? Igual de este. Es solo piña este? Oh wow, looks creamy. Looks like a piña colada.
I think it's their blender.
Oh yeah, oh that'll go down real nice.
Visiting, and
Santos, you want it with sugar, no sugar?
No sugar.
asked me one day.
I thought you were separatist or something. So
No, he just said hi to me one day, and then we became friends.
We've just been friends for a week with Kelly. Yeah, Kelly's being introduced slowly to syncretism through... I've read her chart.
Until
Santos.
Yeah.
people.
Yep. But she's pretty much already walking the syncretic path. Totally. She's got 4 planets in the 9th house, including Venus in Libra.
9,000 years.
The High Priestess. Travel, pilgrimages, worshipping the gods, adoring the temples, visiting the shrines, being an oracle, wisdom, luck, travel, fortune.
I actually wasn't aware that that's what we were doing, and that sounds amazing.
You need to get. Have you been there yet?
I haven't.
Oh, so we're going to Chichen Itza tomorrow? I didn't know that.
No.
What, tomorrow?
No, we were
Oh, no.
going to
Yeah.
Chichen Itza
Next week.
next week.
Right.
I'm done with my week.
Yeah.
¿Gustaría un poco de queso en su orden? ¿O sí?
I was
Have
thinking.
you been there yet?
No.
Been to Palenque?
Yeah, and Coba?
Yes.
Coba is amazing, but I couldn't do it live.
Guatemala?
No, I didn't have to.
There
Or-
are three, it's like three Mayan periods and like three pyramids. So Palenque is the middle,
Uh-huh.
Tikal is the oldest, and Chichen Itza is the youngest.
Okay.
So in Chichen Itza, they were already using metals,
Uh-huh.
whereas in Palenque, they only use stones.
Right.
And even before, they were using rocks and formations in Tikal. So you'll see it. You'll see that there's signs of decadence at Chichen Itza.
Decadence? What kind of decadence?
Metals, gold and silver, but also like, how do we say it? They deforested the entire area around because it was a huge city, a huge Maya city. They deforested the area and used all the wood to burn, to make furnaces so that their temples that they were building more and more would dry because they used limestone. And then limestone needed to be dried from the inside. So they would burn huge fires within each temple to dry the limestone. The sad thing is they were really out of touch with the needs of the people by then. And the priesthood just kind of took over, you know.
Right, right.
That's how they ran themselves down.
Okay.
They weren't touched by the Spanish.
Is that where human sacrifices were had?
I don't know. I've heard some accounts, but again, it's in the late period, you know. If you look at a culture that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, more than that years old, and you look at this like small like blip in their history.
Yeah.
So it's been happening in India. Like tantrics today are doing blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Right.
not in the alignment
Right.
of what was. The oldest women were giving their menstrual blood out of free will. So it was still a blood sacrifice, but totally different. So you'll see it. You'll notice the difference between Palenque and Chichen Itza.
So Palenque will be like pure. Yeah.
I want to hear about the blood sacrifice because I had my own
El asesino sabe más de amor que el poeta, el malo cada vez está más cerca de él más. Lo bueno de los años es que curan
Yeah,
heridas.
there's a temple, the
Lo malo de
practice
los
of Tantra.
besos
That's
es que
what they
crean
said. The
adicción.
yoni of the goddess fell there, and all these
Ayer quiso
temples came up,
matarme
but
la
they're just
mujer de
caves.
mi vida,
They're caves with
apretaba el
natural
gatillo.
springs.
Cuando
And
se
women were
desveló,
dancing and offering menstrual blood in these
con
places.
7 primas de la
But
voz
today
de la
there are no
mujer.
women there. It's all male priests.
7 carreteras delante de mí. Siete
But,
crisantemos en el
The idea is that
cementerio.
when a woman gives her
Siete
blood,
cardinales.
it's living blood. It's not dead blood. It's not. There's no adrenochrome in that blood. Unlike when you slaughter an animal and like
Me
offer that
enamoro
blood.
de todo, me conformo con nada.
So there's
Un
so
aroma,
that's
un
why
abrazo y
it's
un
peace
pedazo
on
de
earth.
paz.
Because we give the mother like
Y lo
we
que
give her the blood,
buenamente me den
quench
por la
her thirst for
manada
blood
en la
without
vida
slaughter,
privada.
but through the
De
natural
fulano
process
de
of
tal.
the female body. Like
May I hug you? That is the same exact fucking thing I said.
That's the best hug in the history of hugs.
Siete despedidas.
Two goddesses, Saraswati and Lakshmi.
Siete crisantemos en el cementerio.
You made my day.
Siete cardenales para el corazón.
So the idea is that we need to keep offering wherever we are.
Yes. This is what I believe. Señorita, ¿está lista su orden?
Muy amable, muchas gracias. ¿Tiene salsa picante? I got
Same.
cheese, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. Don't-
This, you have no idea. I literally shared basically the same exact thing you said to these guys before you showed up.
Yeah.
Through the wisdom of my own body, like not even understanding what you just explained about history, just understanding my body.
That's what I said. Malika has been my pillar and support in Mazunte for 9 months. Every week I'm eating at her restaurant of Ayurvedic food, vegetarian of course. And Malika has always been like a support. When I was down, there she was. When I was up, she was happy for me. We did a lot of... She offered her place and I did syncretism there, taught astrology every week, did a live course on astrology. You know, we did lots of shows at your place, lots of lives, and you've shared a lot of your wisdom. And as I said, Malika's only 27, my son is 28. She's my daughter, like my daughter, and we have a real kind of father-daughter relationship, and love each other very much and support each other very, very much. And yeah, I have to say that definitely Malika is my best friend there in Mazunte, for sure, by far. Best, truest, and of the highest consciousness. So wise. How can you be 27 and know? I mean, you've seen the lives, guys, of her singing all night in Sanskrit, in Spanish, in who knows how many languages, English, and she's got playing the Indian instruments, then she does the percussion, then she does the incense, then she does the rituals, and all this magic is happening in her restaurant every week on the Friday nights, on the healing nights. So I find that it to be so cultured, because as it says in Bhagavad Gita, if you don't have at least 60 talents and gifts that are fully developed in you, you cannot ascend to Vrindavan. You know, 60. That means music, singing, dancing. And what are we doing now? We're raising people in our cultures to do just 2 or 3 things, you know. You can't do everything, you know, is the attitude. So, you know...
What is it? Keep your head in your lane, you know? Like, don't mess with the experts. They know what they're doing. Just pick one, stick with one, be an accountant.
God, I
Specialize.
never liked any of that. Stick to one path.
It's
Ew.
like a machine.
Yep.
And it's so constricting. It's so constricting. I feel the same with relationships. It's just constricting to be one. And I'm not gonna go down that path. I don't have the energy for that. It's gonna be okay.
Yep.
I think that the reason they make all these Disney movies and all these like love movies and make so much money off of them is because it's they show us a skewed view of what love is.
Oh, and they're traumatizing us from the very beginning. Disney.
Bombarded. Sexuality is under attack from
And
the
they're teaching women you need a man to rescue you. He's voluptuous and sexy.
always
Somebody's got to
ovulating.
save you. Yeah, always ovulating. Somebody's got to save you.
All right, we're going to bring that back into harmony, though, and balance. It's happening right now. On this table, it is.
How much stuff do I not watch and not participate in? And how much life do I partake
Yeah. And hey, I don't know. I think that Santos talked about this, that we were Elohim and then we were split, right? So
By Jupiter.
in
2 souls. So the tradition is that we had 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads, 2 hearts, and 1 soul. Then Jupiter came and split the human archetype in half, and we have 1 head, 1 heart, 2 arms, 2 legs, and half a soul, forever searching for, according to Jupiter, so that forever humans will be seeking their twin flame. What did you call it? Twin
ray.
Twin ray. Twin ray.
You don't get burned.
A ray. The ray's different, Gandalf? How is the twin ray different?
The ray is a sweet synergy, not competing for the fuel of air. And the twin flame is often a mutual attraction of passion. And passion
Brings out.
relates to suffering, what you're willing to suffer for. And I think a lot of what people look for in a twin flame is actually one of those major relationships where you realize you have to reclaim the mirror and you're only ever going to get what you are in another person. You're only a mirror in a relationship. And the twin ray is stepping out from looking for your other half, to choosing to dance without codependency with your other whole. I have no need for you, yet there is an immaculate synergy between us, and we can synergize in our offering to the world. Like I see that with Josh X and his partner, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and it's counterintuitive to pretty much every romance movie you're gonna look at.
Wow.
But then there's the romance that we have eternally with nature.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that if we don't fall in love with nature, we can fall in love with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa.
Yes.
And then, like, to manifest another human
Agreed.
that is in the same.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, oftentimes people talk in church about keeping God in your marriage.
Yeah.
I think that's nature. You know, it teaches you to chill out and cultivate. I have hope. Are you okay out here? Are you
Yeah.
guys okay? Okay.
What do you mean? What? Okay, in what way?
What's happening in this state?
In the States?
Yeah, in here,
In
in
Quintana Roo? It's when
pandemic stuff.
no, it's pretty good. It's like Mazunte here.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, this is the best place, Puerto Morelos, for, you know, the leniency. The cops are going past every 5 minutes. That's pretty typical, really, isn't it? You know, because the presence keeps the shop owners with the signs. There you go. Like, there's one. Okay, esteemed client, you must wear, you know, your mask, your scam. I just brought out, Malika, that mask is an anagram for scam. So, and
Wow.
Gandalf, he said it's what? The mask is...
It's the greatest irony, because apocalypse means to unmask, and it's a hindrance of your spiritual relationship. There's videos of this, scientifically, objectively. When you put on a mask, you are going into oxygen deprivation within a second. It is super immediate, and it makes complete sense. There are new proclivities that people are having to getting bacterial overgrowths on their mouth because they're sitting all day breathing in. The worst is the blue masks. They're proven to have carcinogens in them. There's a reason that surgeons will only wear a mask in surgery very temporarily and dispose of it. They know bacteria will harbor on a mask that is used. That's why you dispose of it. So, you know, using a mask over and over again, it's not only assault on your ability to think because you're oxygen depleted, it's bad for your entire body because what affects the blood affects the entire system. But it's also, it's just dangerous. It's dangerous to drive with a mask. I see people driving by themselves with a mask on, and it's like, what?
I don't get that.
No.
But what is not going through your head? You know, it's
I don't even know the rules. I'm just looking around. If somebody's real pissed off, I'm like, all right, what's the rule? What do you got to do? All right, be happy now. And then once they're out of the room, I just do whatever I want.
yeah. Yeah, that's the yin approach.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was really about mass,
We wouldn't be flying in planes. That's for
it's
damn
about
sure.
immunity. And I think it's about resilience.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
All right.
And
All
we're
right,
going
see
to
you.
Tulum tomorrow, so have a good night, sweet dreams. And what time do you need to be there by?
Let's see, like, leave by like 10 or 11. Feel
We're
Nice.
gonna go pick up at 9.
I know we've got something to pick up at 9. Yeah, that's
I
good.
mean, I could be ready sooner. I just thought you were.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm good because I'm coming back.
And
It's a 2-hour drive, isn't it?
yeah, and will you be able to pick me up so I can leave one of my bags at your house?
Yeah, I'll come around and pick you up.
Great.
You give me the location.
You know where I live.
Oh, I forget. Do you remember?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
right
just
now.
gonna-
Sorry.
Wouldn't we still have to pick her up early to go? Because we're picking up all
Well,
the
I'll
way
pick
down?
her up at 10:30. Or whenever,
Oh, okay.
whenever
Well,
she.
remember, she was going to the jungle early tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to be meeting at 9. Her.
Oh, because she's meeting here. I thought we were driving down to see her. Okay, cool. Yes.
No, she's meet at Mangata, at Mangata restaurant.
Perfect.
So Kelly's good to go and get a good night rest. Good night.
Yep, I'm gonna go sleep. Yeah, thanks, man. Just gonna give you a little hug. Good night.
Good night, beautiful. With sleeping pills.
I have delirium root. I brought
Yeah, thanks.
you a whole bag.
Right. So you're just doing a stopover? So tomorrow, what time do you have to get to Cancun?
Flight is 4 p.m.
Oh, great. Oh no.
To be there the day after.
We're going to Tulum.
What time you going?
I think I better leave it. No, I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah.
You want?
Do something.
Huh?
We'll spend the day together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we need to. Yeah, I'll tell her tomorrow. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be hanging out with Malika tomorrow. She's gonna be here till 4. Can't go to Tulum, so she's gonna have to get a bus.
Okay.
What about you though? Are you hanging back too, or?
I'm flexible.
Yeah, right.
Do you
Okay.
want to go to Tulum the next day? Or
Yeah,
do
the
you
day
prefer
after
to
I
stay
will.
here?
Yeah, the day after I definitely will.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to tell Kelly tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep, because. Oh, yep. I'm not gonna. For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Malika.
Cool.
Yep. Get some goddess wisdom, real solid goddess wisdom. Huh?
Piedad and Yolanda asked about it.
Do they?
They ask about once a week about how you are, and then when they knew I was coming to see you, they were really happy.
Yeah. That's Malika's 2 Aryan cooks. They're both Aries. Oh, they're beautiful. They love me and I love them, and they make me Malika's food so beautiful.
You go for a quick walk and we'll get some to the
Uh-huh. Cool one. Gotcha. All right, well, I'm going to finish off here now, Malika, anyway, because we've had a good, long video. This has been probably about 2 hours. So, yep, so good to see. Yep,
Thank you.
so good to see you. And I'm just going to...
Many prayers.
Yep, and I'm going to finish off. I was going to play the mouth organ. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So let me finish off with a little bit of a song. Alfredo,
Oh, are you
Mira.
gonna play?
ya. Te canto una canción. I'm trying to get this. Ah, here we go. Anyway, I made a mess of it. It's terrible.
No, además lo hace con una mano.
Look, yeah, yes, and I'm doing this with one hand. It's very hard to do.
¿Usted sabe que él es guitarrista?
Por
favor. Sí, por favor,
No,
Sánchez.
no.
Dame el teléfono, mire. I will hold it, but my hands are...
So,
Let me film you. Come on.
I was going to finish. No. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Muy bien.
No, like I'm where? I'm there. I'm not going to go on the microphone.
No, don't be embarrassed. Buenas noches.
But, la guitarra. Oh, no.
Por favor.
No. Necesito la mía.
¿Dónde está?
Tiene que ser la mía.
Ay, Dios.
Tocar
¿Cómo
la
es de
guitarra
especial?
de otro en público así frío, sin
Sin ensayar.
Enseñar. Ensayar. Tengo que rescatar mis dedos. So we can finish off here, guys. And what I'll say is my expression today: stop pretending that you are not God. So
Ako.
I'm already eating too much.
you can hit the
Finish.
stop button.